Next, Chief.
Well, Mayor, first I want to start out, just give y'all a few numbers to tell y'all how things were last year. 2025, we answered 13,838 calls for service. Police officer was sent to a call that many times. Break that down, it's about 1,153 calls a month for our department. If y'all think about it, we work short staff pretty much the whole year. And these guys were able to get that done. It's what you're talking about, employees are working their tails off, these guys are too. Our burglaries last year, we had 49 burglaries in 2025 compared to 66 in 2024. So burglaries are down that many. The accidents were up. We had 487 accidents last year, 473 the year before. Homicides, knock on wood, we had 0. No murders last year, which was a great thing. We had 1 in 2024. Our theft of properties, we had 284 theft of properties last year compared to 337 in 2024. And then we get to traffic stops. We had 4,348 traffic stops last year. Numbers down a little bit, and we have working short staff. We have 4,475 traffic stops in 2024. The officers issued 1,341 paying tickets, 217 warnings. It's a total of 1,558 either citations or warnings issued for that. That's about, about 30%, 33% of our call volume was traffic stops out of the 13,838 calls. So we had 555 arrests last year, and 34 of those were DUIs. So DUI could be alcohol, controlled substance, or it could be a combination of both. It just depends. But 34 of those 555 arrests were DUIs. If you remember, we were one of the first 3 cities in the state of Alabama to get the accreditation from the Chiefs Association accreditation program.
By the way, let me interrupt. Our chief was just elected as secretary.
Yes, sir.
Of the
Chiefs Association.
Congratulations. So, congratulations, Chief.
So me. Yeah. Right. If y'all remember, also in 2024, December 24, y'all agreed to a purchase of flock camera system, the tag reader cameras. All of those were installed around the middle to the end of November of last year, 2025. And since they've been installed, we've made 5 cases using those cameras. Cases involving one car went through, headed toward OP. We were able to notify OP. They stopped the car, arrested 2 people out of the car from Florida that had felony warrants on them. We had a stolen car here in town last week. It hit the cameras, was able to kind of narrow it down, be able to recover that vehicle. So those have been very useful for us in just a short period of time. You can see how useful those are. You touched on the camera system, the other cameras, something Andy and I talked about last week. Flock has a program where they can integrate our current camera system into their system. Now, we're gonna work on getting a price on that. I'm not sure what it is. What I do know about that system is, they give us a demo on it, and I'm gonna try to get it set up to get another demo, is they can take our cameras, and if we got a certain area we're looking for somebody, we can go in and put white male, blue tie, brown jacket, and it'll pull every one of those people in that area. And then we can narrow our search down that way. And that's just by integrating the cameras we already have in place. We don't have to buy their camera system, they just integrate our system into theirs, which will tremendously help us in our crime efforts around by narrowing the search. Now we have to sit and watch hours and hours and hours of video just to try to narrow things down. We can do it with our traffic cameras. We can put a white Ford pickup truck with STX with some kind of logo on it. It'll search those vehicles and pull all that stuff in for you. And again, that's just integrating our system into their system. And if I remember, I think we get a couple of cameras if we buy into their system. They'll put some cameras up anyway, but the 100 and some odd cameras we already have, we can integrate and use through their system already.
I've had this question asked of me several times. Why is it being published on some of these Facebook postings that Andalusia has a high crime rate?
I don't know where they get those numbers from.
I've seen on top 10.
A lot of them, they compare our city to Montgomery's and Birmingham's. We're all gathered, they all group them in one. When you do it per capita, we may have a bigger number than these cities who have 200,000 or 300,000 population. Our numbers may be higher because of the per capita. They don't group it in the category of the same, 10,000, 5 to 10,000 population. They group it together. So when you go per capita, yeah, it may look like we have a higher number, but they're not.
They are listed
not
per
equal.
capita. If you listen to them, it is.
So they don't do it the way it should be done.
Well, it certainly hurts our community.
You just heard the numbers I read to you. Our numbers are
I
down.
don't know.
And that's not all of our numbers. That was just some of them.
Do you know who is doing that publishing? What is it?
I mean, there's several different fake news outlets and different things that they put all that together. And Michelle might know, she's worked with when you work in media, I mean, I don't know how they come up with that stuff.
I'll tell you offline who's putting it on Facebook.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But, I mean, it's just, you got several different ones who wanna put that out there. And that's why I wanted to let y'all hear those numbers to say, our numbers are down. And, I mean, that's a great thing. It's a pat on the back to our employees down there because they're working hard. We may have stopped over 4,000 cars, but we didn't write that many tickets, but we're not trying to be what they call speed trap.
Yeah,
We ain't trying to be a speed trap. We're not trying to.
Let's talk a little bit about, this, photo tickets, citations, or whatever, that, and we talked about at the council meeting the other night. Are we moving forward on that?
That'll be at our next work session, the 20th.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to get some legislation passed.
Yeah.
Representative Hammett's on board with us to get that done. And those, I mean, again, it's nothing to try to punish the community.
No.
It's just another tool in our toolbox to help us with
Well,
enforcement.
Do you mind if I ask, would that be towards the elementary? Can I ask that?
We haven't got that far in the planning process yet, so.
Needs to be.
We get, I get more complaints from citizens about people speeding and running stop signs than any other thing in this town, this city.
And,
And they say it's these people from Florida. No, it's people from Andalusia and Covenant County that's doing it. And,
I can tell you, in my 31.5 years of service to the citizens of Andalusia, the times I worked in patrol and we got complaints, you go work that area and you pull a car over, cause I've done this, pull a car over and walk up there and the person's like, hell, I should've known, cause I've been complaining about this. Pulling over the people who are complaining.
Tell them about the daycare out 55, when we put the officers out there, tell them who they stopped.
So Guardian Angel and what was it, Academy, school, they were complaining about speeding down there, so we sent officers down there. Well, I think they said about 90% of the cars caught speeding was turning into Guardian Angel or to the Academy. People who were going down there, the ones that were complaining. So, the ticket writing cameras, it's just gonna be another resource for us to use. I mean, there'll be, John, correct me if I'm wrong, the way these guys entered, the way they explained it, there'll be advertisements anywhere you come into town that there's photo enforcement in the city of Andalusia. When you get to the area where the photo enforcement is, there'll be more advertisement or signage that says photo enforced area. So you won't enter an area without knowing there's a camera coming up.
It's not secret.
If you can read, yeah.
Right.
You have a license, so you did.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
Chief, one other thing, explain, prior to the election, there was a lot of talk about people going to the beach and the speeding on the bypass. Explain to the people here the dilemma and the safety problem created if your people start trying to apprehend those speeders on the bypass.
So everybody knows how congested the bypass, the west bypass will get during the summer. So if we get out there in our marked units and they try to turn around on a car that's speeding, we create a bigger hazard out there trying to enforce that than what that car is creating, because they're gonna get out of town. We're creating a hazard. We could cause accidents, and different things of that nature that is just a bigger hazard. Now, we can get out there and be seen and slow traffic down, but we also have other responsibility during the day than just stay on the bypass to work traffic. But what you're saying is we're creating a bigger hazard, trying to turn around in traffic, get out in traffic, pulling a
Chase
car over. 'Cause
somebody.
people sometimes don't really think when you get in behind them, you turn the blue lights on, they stop. But then they gonna stop in the middle of the traffic. Now you back traffic up, cars trying to go around till you can get them safely out of the road. And then officers gotta get out and get in that traffic, to walk up to that car. So officers are at more danger.
that's bad.
Other cars are at danger. So it just creates a bigger hazard for us. So, and to go back to what Darren was saying, we're talking about putting those ticket cameras in that area over there. But again, we don't wanna be known as a city who's out here.
Yeah, it would be just something, just like you said, it's not, they're gonna know it's coming, but at
Right.
least it would slow down the traffic in that area.
Now, we
you know?
did,
How about a dummy car like River Falls does?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
It worked for a while, but.
we parked one in Mr.
Passers
Mount's
through
yard.
don't know it.
We parked the car in Mr. Mount's yard, parked it out there, perpendicular to the road, and I think we left it there, about 2 weeks? I think? And it
2 or
worked
3
good
weeks.
for our out-of-town traffic, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
local people, again, the local people realized there's nobody in that car, so guess what? They didn't slow down. So the problem is not our out-of-town, it goes back to what the mayor was talking about with this housing.
It's us.
Our citizens have to abide by the law just as much as the out-of-town folks have to abide by the law. So, we put some responsibility back on our citizens to help us with that too. I mean, it's just, we wanna do the best we can for everybody, and I think our numbers show that. If crime is down, we gotta have help from the citizens.
Well, here's what I know. When I go through Brantley, Alabama, I slow myself down. And everybody else does too.
I've
So
made 3 of those
they're
over the
affected,
years,
you know, I mean,
college and stuff like that.
they're
You know, I
affected.
put my cruise on 35 through Brantley, and I have not had a car pass me in that stretch
Yeah, I know.
the whole time.
But once
There's
you
one in
get by
Kinston
there,
now, too.
They take off. All right.
Well, and a few other things that we're working on, working with Andy, the thing we brought it up, I think the last councilman on there. Now that courts has moved to their new area, we're looking at moving our dispatch center into where the old courtroom was at.
Yeah.
And it would be something similar to a small real-time crime center, something you see in bigger areas. We wanted to set it up where we have the monitors, kinda like that monitor on the wall behind you, but we'll have them all around the room to pull up the cameras that we have around town, especially in our problem areas and different things, and dispatchers can keep an eye on those cameras, and if they see something happening, they can go ahead and get an officer in route,
Somebody
maybe
out
before you even get a phone call. And we've been able to do that with some of the stuff we have now, down at off the tracks, we kinda keep them, when they first opened, we had a few problems, so we started monitoring the parking lot a lot. And, something started happening, they would get an officer out there before anything could happen. So that's what we wanna do with our dispatch center, and hopefully we can get started on that pretty soon. So that'll be something we wanna try to get done in these next 4 years, is something of that nature, and like I said, be a small, real-time crime center that we can keep up. And we'll have cameras for the school system in there too.
Yeah.
If we have a problem at school, we pop those cameras in.
That's one question I wanted to ask you, and we have a school board member here with us tonight. You see this almost every week now, shooting in schools, guns in schools, nuts going in and trying to shoot it up. Are we doing enough in our schools to make sure that, I mean, you can't make sure nothing's gonna happen, but you gotta be prepared for it if it does happen. Are we there? Are we lacking? What needs to be done? What thought about?
I mean, they've run some drills here a couple of times this year, and the drills went really well. I mean, like you said, we can't always prepare, we don't always know what we need, but I think we're in good shape. We got an officer at most schools. They said they did some stuff down at the elementary school. If y'all, once been in the elementary school, you go in the main door, and it just took you all the way down to what they call town square down there.
Yeah.
But now they put a wall up where you gotta go in the office instead of going all the way down to town square.
Can't go through there.
Right, so the schools have done that, to help beef up the security there, so.
Doors are locked too. I mean, you don't
Doors
just
are
walk in
locked.
anymore.
you know, they're keeping the doors locked.
So they're doing a better job of that because it had been
Got
long
buzzing
ago, I could go there and just walk in
and
any door I wanted to.
Right. Yeah, we had a situation, like 2 days into the school year, 3 days into the school year or something. And this wasn't anybody from around here, we narrowed it down as that, you know, seen the, what's it called? Can't remember what it's called now. It's happening all over the country, that's calling it school threats. We had it happen here.
Yeah.
And, school locked down, I mean, everything went as good as it could go. And, we cleared that scene, figured it out, and, you know, didn't have any issues. So, I mean, I think we're in a good shape. Got school resource officers on both campuses. You know, we could probably use another one on the high school campus, cause it's so big, but finding police officers right now is hard enough to do without trying to put them in specialized areas right now, so. What we have, you know, our officers do periodic walkthroughs to help school resource officers out, just to have an extra person sitting.
Well, Andy, let me ask you one question. Have we installed all of the, security cameras that was purchased with corporate release money?
Yes.
They're all installed now?
Yeah, and we're still working on installing some more at different parks and different locations. Now that we've got our fiber up and running all over town, it makes it a lot simpler, so, yes. But we're still adding them daily, so, well, not daily, but, okay, we can.
Chief, anything else that you?
And I think Andy and I was talking about, we're looking at some more improvements on the outside of the police department building. Kinda like what they've done with the fire department with that, with the facade around the top. Maybe paint that building and make it a little more, appealing instead of that dull yellow brick.
Yeah.
Some of those things that we're looking at, so.
Other than that,
Again, I echo what the fire chief said, and we appreciate what y'all have done as far as the pay raises and things of that nature to help us keep our staff up. Police department, police officers it's a nationwide problem for shortage of officers. It's not just an Andalusia or Quadrennium County problem. And every time y'all do something for us, it seems like somebody down the road will do something, and it's like, you know, kinda like a bidding war.
Yeah.
And, so it's just back and forth, but y'all are doing a great job keeping us as close as you can. I think we got some good things coming, we're gonna keep working on. I guess the only other thing, you know, training center out there, I hadn't talked to Russell about this, but it's something that I think we could probably do in the next, 4 years maybe, is incorporate some fire stuff out there, maybe a new rappel tower, firehouse, smokehouse or whatever, like it was at the old facility. We got plenty of room out there to do stuff like that, and we could have, we might have to change the name of the place to police and fire training facility or whatever, and host as much training as we could out there. Police department, fire department, and we do stuff for Cole and them at the street department now, but we could make that place pretty big. That would be something we'd also need to hire an employee to try to keep the place up, keep booking going on and things of that nature. But I'd like to see maybe something, we start looking down the road for that. Have a regional training area for the fire department to host stuff and those things like that, so.
getting other departments in and using our stuff is for training, yeah.